now, the new head coach of the Los Angeles Kings, Peter Laviolette. Peter, thank you so much for coming on. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, guys. Thank you.
Peter, it's great
Listen to that noise in the background, huh?
Yeah,
no
how
kidding.
about that?
Peter, it's
I
great.
love it.
It's great to have you here. You come, for people that don't know, Peter's got a couple of Stanley Cups. He's coached in 6 or 7 other places. Peter, what attracted you to the challenge of the Kings? You know, they won a couple of cups in the last decade, but they've been struggling since. Why was this a job you wanted to take on?
I think for a lot of reasons. Like to me, coming into the LA Kings and the ownership and what they've been able to do here, I think is amazing. The city of Los Angeles as well. It's just got a great fan base and just a tremendous market. You look at the roster and the players that are here, I feel like it's a team that can move and take strides to every day take strides to become a better team, to put yourself in a position where, you know, you can make noise in the playoffs. And, you know, that's really what it's all about, is building something. And I feel like the pieces, starting with ownership, I feel like the pieces are here to do that. And for me as a coach and getting the opportunity with only 32 jobs available to be able to come in and land a spot with the Kings in Los Angeles, like, I'm just thrilled to be here. My family's thrilled, and we're really looking forward to it.
Peter, we're, of course, in the middle of the Stanley Cup Finals right now, as we're talking. And, you know, I wonder from you, because you've been there, what does it take to get to the Stanley Cup Finals?
You know, there's a whole bunch of things it takes, but, you know, I mentioned it earlier when we had the press conference. So I think that if you can get players that care about each other, I think if you can get those players to make great decisions and to put the work in and really work to do things the right way, and then you can put a game plan in on the ice that's hard to play against. I think that you have a formula that becomes hard to stop, and that's what I found in my past destinations. And that's a team that cares about each other, that plays hard for each other, and has the vehicle on the ice to move together. That's a recipe for success for me. And I think you see it now too. You watch Carolina and the way that they're playing in Vegas, the way that they're playing. You listen to Florida, who just recently, won championships, and you listen to what they talk about, how the unity inside the room and how much they care about each other. And then the game that they played on the ice, well, that's a winning recipe and a recipe for success. So it's exciting to get here and try and build that from day one.
We're talking to Peter Laviolette, the new head coach of the Los Angeles Kings. Peter, you may have partially answered this already, but I'll throw it at you this way. The Kings is a weird job because they're not a bad team. They're a good team. They tend to make the playoffs every year. But when they run into trouble is in the first round. They have trouble getting out of the first round, and they won the Cup in 12. They won again in 14. But they keep butting their heads against the wall at the end of the first round. In your experience, what separates good teams, like the Kings have been, from great teams like the ones we're watching now?
Yeah, so, when things happen in the past, I don't really dive in and focus on that too much, because it's been my experience, and there's been teams that I've taken on in the first full year that maybe haven't found success and have been able to push that through that and maybe get to the finals and play for a cup. And so I don't necessarily put too much on past experiences, because every year is different and every team is different. So it's not about what last year's team did. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying that's not this year's team. So the only thing that I should be focusing on and that we should be focusing on as a group is this year's team and training camp and day one, and just trying to build something. And then, like I said, if it's built the right way, then I feel like when you get to the playoffs, you've equipped yourself with something that can make a team successful. And so those have been my experiences. So I don't think about it too much from a past standpoint. I think about the excitement of the future and the present today and the future moving forward. That's what can build a championship level team.
So you did not coach this season. You took this year off. How was it not coaching? What did it feel like?
Oh, my wife told me it was time to go back to work. we're back to work.
Mine would say the same
really
thing,
good.
Peter, if I took a year off.
I know. I actually say that joking. Like the one thing that you do miss is you miss out your family sacrifices, especially when you've been doing it for 30 years. There's things that they miss, and I'm not saying that in a bad way, but I'm just saying for me to get to spend time with my wife or to take a vacation with her. We went over to Scotland, and my daughter was over there.
Nice.
We got to visit her, and her boyfriend plays golf, and so we got to see that. My son plays in the East Coast Hockey League, and so I got a chance to go watch him play games. And I watch him on TV, but, it's something about having your mom or your dad there live and things that maybe I couldn't get to do. And my other son lives in Florida with us, and I think just spending more time with him was great. And so things that you may not, that you take for granted, you may not get to do, you actually get to do. And so I tried to make the most of the time.
Awesome. Well, listen, back to work now with the Los Angeles Kings.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Congratulations,
Peter.
Peter.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, talk to you soon.
There is new head coach of the Los Angeles Kings, Peter Laviolette. Coming up,
he's won the Cup in a couple of different places, too. This is a good hire.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming up next for you, Ben Lyons.